Have you ever looked out the window on a rainy day and wondered where the sun went? One minute it's up there, bright and warm, painting everything gold. The next minute, gray sky, cold windows, puddles in the street, somebody's sad dog staring at the door. Did the sun go to bed early? Did it get scared of the thunder? Did somebody somewhere walk over and flip a giant switch labeled sun off? Today, we're going to solve this mystery once and for all. We're going to find out exactly where the sun goes when it rains. And I promise you, the real answer is way weirder, way older, and way cooler than you think. So grab a cozy spot, maybe a blanket, maybe a snack. Let's go find the sun. Here's the very first secret nobody bothers to tell you. Are you ready? The sun never stops shining, not for one single second, not when it rains, not when it snows, not when there's a hurricane, not even in the middle of the darkest, quietest night. Right now, as you're watching this video, the sun is out there, burning, roaring, glowing. Think about the sun for a second. It's not a lamp. It's not a giant flashlight some grown-up plugged in. The sun is a gigantic ball of super hot glowing gas. It's so big that 1 million Earths could fit inside it. 1 million. Imagine stacking 1 million marbles into a beach ball. That's you and me and every person and every mountain and every ocean tucked inside the sun. And this enormous glowing ball has been shining nonstop for 4.5 billion years. Billion. With a B. So no, the sun is definitely not going to take a coffee break just because it's raining in your town on a Tuesday. If the sun is always on, always shining, always right where it belongs, then why can't we see it sometimes? Great question. To answer it, we have to look up. Way, way up. Past the roof, past the trees, past the birds and the airplanes, all the way up to a layer of sky called the atmosphere, and to the fluffy troublemakers that live there. The clouds. Clouds, they look so soft, don't they? Like cotton candy, like giant fluffy pillows drifting across the sky. When you were little, you probably wished you could jump on one and bounce around like a trampoline. Well, I have some news that is going to blow your mind. Clouds are not soft at all. In fact, a cloud is not really a thing. A cloud is more like a huge floating crowd. A crowd of what? A crowd of tiny, tiny water droplets. Millions and millions and millions of them, all hanging in the air together. Here's a fact that is going to make your brain do a little flip. A single average cloud, the kind you'd point at and say, hey, that one looks like a dragon, weighs about the same as 100 elephants. 100 elephants. Just floating over your head, right now. So how does that not fall on us? Because each droplet is smaller than a speck of dust, and they are spread very, very far apart. If you tried to sit on a cloud, you wouldn't bounce. You would fall straight through and end up very wet and slightly embarrassed. So a cloud isn't a fluffy pillow. A cloud is the sky's clever way of holding water up in the air. Now hold on to that thought, because it's about to get really interesting. How does a normal, friendly, dragon-shaped cloud turn into a rain cloud? It all comes down to one big magic word. Say it with me. Evaporation. Every single day, all around the world, the sun quietly does one of its favorite jobs. It heats up the water, it warms the oceans, it warms the lakes and the rivers. It even warms the little puddle in front of your house. And when water gets warm enough, something amazing happens. It turns into an invisible gas called water vapor. That vapor is so light, it just floats. Up, 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 all the way into the sky. Now up there, the air is much colder than it is down here. And when warm, wet air meets that cold air, the vapor cools back down and clumps together into those tiny droplets we just talked about. Congratulations, you've just watched a cloud being born. But the story doesn't stop there. Clouds are collectors. They keep grabbing more and more droplets. They puff up. They stretch out. They get bigger and heavier and fatter and darker, until finally one day, the cloud is holding so much water, it just cannot hold anymore. And plop. The droplets fall out of the sky as rain. So here's the beautiful part. Rain isn't the sky being sad. Rain isn't a punishment because you forgot to do your homework. Rain is just the sky finally putting down something too heavy to carry. It's a giant deep breath. And then the sky feels lighter again. Okay, so we know clouds are up there, and we know rain is just clouds letting go. But we still haven't cracked the big mystery. Even when there are clouds, why does the sun disappear? Why does the whole sky turn that same boring gray color? To understand this, we need to zoom in on sunlight itself. Sunlight is not just light. Sunlight is made of trillions of super tiny particles called photons. Photons are basically little packets of energy zipping down from the sun in straight lines, incredibly fast. On a clear day, those photons come racing through the atmosphere, straight into your eyes. That's why the sun looks so bright. That's why you have to squint. That's why grown-ups keep yelling, "Don't look directly at the sun." But when a thick rain cloud rolls in, everything changes. Now all those photons run smack into millions and millions of water droplets. Each droplet acts like a tiny curved mirror. It scatters the light. It bounces it. It sends it flying in a new direction. Some photons bounce back up into space. Some get absorbed. And only a little tiny bit of the original sunlight finally makes it down to us. That's why rainy day light looks so flat and so gray. The sun didn't turn off. The sun didn't dim. The light is just being shuffled around by billions of tiny mirrors before it can reach your eyes. It's basically nature's messiest game of ping pong. You want proof? Real proof? Try this the next time it rains. Just look outside. Can you still see everything? The trees, the parked cars, the soggy garden, your neighbor's very grumpy cat looking out the window like the rain personally insulted him. Yes, you can see all of it. And that is only possible because sunlight is still reaching the ground. In fact, even the darkest, most stormy day is millions of times brighter than a night with a full moon. That's not an exaggeration, millions. The sun is that powerful. But if you want the coolest proof of all, here it is. Next time you're on an airplane on a rainy day, and I mean really rainy, thunder, lightning, angry sky, sit next to the window and watch. At first you'll see gray clouds all around you as the plane climbs. And then suddenly, whoosh, the plane pops out through the top of the clouds. And what do you think you'll see up there? Blue sky, endless blue sky, and the sun, blazing away exactly where it always was. Not tired, not sad, not hiding. The clouds are just a big fluffy blanket, and the sun has been up above the blanket the whole time. If that isn't a plot twist, I don't know what is. Now that you know the secret, the sun is going to seem to disappear in a few other situations too. And the fun part is, you can spot every trick. Let's do it. Trick number 1. Nighttime. Where does the sun go at night? The classic. The answer, the sun didn't go anywhere. The earth is just spinning slowly like a giant, calm merry-go-round. And your side of the planet right now is turning away from the sun. Meanwhile, somewhere on the other side of the world, a kid your age in pajamas is looking up at that exact same sun in the middle of their day and waving at you. Wave back. Trick number 2, eclipses. Sometimes the moon slides very quietly, right in front of the sun, like a friend holding a plate up in your school photo, to be funny. For a few minutes, the sky goes dark in the middle of the day. Everything gets weirdly quiet. Birds stop singing, and then the moon keeps moving, and boom, hello sun, hello world. Trick number 3, winter. In winter, your part of the earth is tilted just a little bit away from the sun, so the sun still rises, the sun still shines, but it doesn't climb as high in the sky, and it goes to bed earlier. Same sun, different angle, different vibe. The sun, my friends, is a very reliable friend. It is always there. It is always shining. It's just that sometimes something gets in the way, or you're looking at it from a new spot. Now here's the best part. The part that turns science into pure magic. Sometimes right after a rainstorm, when the wind is starting to calm down and the clouds are drifting apart, the sun does something absolutely amazing. Something like a wink. Something to say, hey, I never left. The sun sends you a rainbow. In rainbows, you guys, rainbows are basically a magic trick. Because here's the secret. Sunlight looks white, or kind of yellow. But actually, secretly, sunlight is made of every color, all mixed together at once. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, all hidden inside that plain-looking beam. When leftover raindrops are still hanging in the air and the sun peeks back out from behind a cloud, the light passes through each drop, bends a tiny bit, and splits apart into all its colors. Each tiny raindrop becomes a tiny prism. Millions of them together throw a huge curved rainbow across the sky. It's basically the sun saying, "See, I was here the whole time. Sorry the clouds were being rude." And every single rainbow you have ever seen, or ever will see, is only there because sunlight and rainwater decided to shake hands in the sky. So, let's answer the big question one more time, all together. Where does the sun go when it rains? The answer is nowhere. Absolutely, positively nowhere. The sun is always shining, always. It never sleeps, it never rests, it never turns off. The only thing that ever changes is what's in between you and the sun. Sometimes it's clouds, sometimes it's the moon, sometimes it's a mountain, sometimes it's your own house wall, sometimes it's just the earth itself, gently spinning you to the other side for the night. And I think there's something really, really beautiful about that. It means that even on your grayest day, your rainiest day, your grumpiest, no good, cranky, bad mood day, the sun is still up there, burning as brightly as ever, waiting patiently for the clouds to move along. The light hasn't gone anywhere. You just can't see it right this second. And you know what? That's true for a lot of things in life, actually. When something feels like it's disappeared, when a friend is far away, or a happy feeling is hiding under a bad day, it might be like the sun behind a cloud. Still there, still shining, just waiting for the right moment to come back. But maybe that is a topic for another video. If you learned something today, or if you're now definitely going to point at a random cloud tomorrow and yell, "Hey, 100 elephants," hit that like button so the algorithm sends this video to another curious brain out there. Subscribe for more "Why Does the World Do That?" adventures. And leave a comment below. Tell me, what's one thing you used to think had disappeared, but was actually there the whole time? I read every single one, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more curious adventures.